Stop eating these 6 veggies. They're ruining your health. What if I told you that some of the so-called healthy vegetables sitting in your fridge right now might actually be harming your body? That's right. Certain veggies, the ones you've been told to eat more of, could be silently sabotaging your gut, wrecking your metabolism, and even triggering inflammation. Shocking? It should be. Because the truth is, not all vegetables are as innocent as they seem. In fact, some of them come with hidden compounds that your body struggles to digest, absorb, or detox. And over time, the impact could be far worse than you ever imagined. You might be bloated and tired, struggling to lose weight, or dealing with nagging digestive issues, all while thinking you're doing everything right. But don't panic. We're not demonizing vegetables. We're just revealing the 6 that could be the hidden culprits behind your health problems. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which ones to avoid, why they're a problem, and what to eat instead to truly thrive. Ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about healthy eating? Let's dive in. 1. Corn, the sneaky saboteur in your salad. All right, let's talk about corn. Yes, that golden, juicy, seemingly innocent cob you've been buttering up at family barbecues. Corn has mastered the art of disguise. It wears the mask of a vegetable, but truth be told, it's a grain. And not just any grain, but one that's been genetically modified more times than a Hollywood A-lister's face. Here's the science-wide truth. Nearly 90% of the corn grown in the U.S. is genetically modified, GMO. According to a report published in Environmental Sciences Europe, GMO corn is frequently treated with glyphosate, a chemical herbicide that's been controversially linked to potential endocrine disruption and gut microbiome imbalance. You're not just munching on corn, you're taking in trace chemicals that your body didn't exactly RSVP for. But let's get to the digestive drama. Corn is loaded with cellulose, a complex fiber that your body simply can't break down. Ever noticed corn in your stool? That's your digestive tract waving a white flag. And while fiber is great, excessive insoluble fiber from corn can irritate the gut lining, especially for folks with IBS or other digestive sensitivities. Plus, corn spikes blood sugar like it's auditioning for a candy commercial. With a glycemic index of around 52 to 60, it can cause insulin surges, leading to crashes that make you feel like you need a nap and a cookie at the same time. Then there's corn oil, heavily processed and high in omega-6 fatty acids. Excess omega-6, without enough omega-3 to balance it out, promotes chronic inflammation, the root of many diseases, including heart issues, joint pain, and even some cancers, as per findings in the Journal of Nutrition. Now, I'm not saying you need to cancel corn like a bad sitcom, but moderation is key. If you love corn, limit your intake to no more than half a cup, about 80 grams, a few times a week, and opt for organic, non-GMO varieties when possible. And maybe, just maybe, skip the popcorn drenched in artificial butter during your next Netflix binge. Because when corn goes from whole food to ultra-processed snack, it's no longer a treat, it's a trap. 2. Soybeans, the hormonal Houdini of your diet. Soybeans, the darling of vegetarians, the poster child of plant-based proteins, and the silent puppeteer of your hormones. Sounds dramatic? Stick around. It gets juicier than a tofu smoothie. At first glance, soybeans seem like a nutritional powerhouse. They're packed with plant protein, fiber, and essential minerals. But beneath that health halo lies a tricky truth. Soy is loaded with phytoestrogens, particularly isoflavones like genistein and daidzein. These compounds mimic estrogen in the body and can bind to estrogen receptors, potentially throwing your hormonal balance into a circus act. Now, let's clear something up. Eating a bit of edamame won't instantly make you grow man boobs or cause a hormonal meltdown. But according to studies published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, excessive soy consumption has been associated with reproductive issues in both men and women, including lower testosterone, menstrual irregularities, and even fertility challenges. Not to mention, it may also impact thyroid function, especially in people with iodine deficiency. And let's not forget the GMO problem. Up to 94% of soybeans in countries like the US are genetically modified. That's a whole lot of soy that's been tinkered with in a lab and possibly doused in glyphosate, the same herbicide we mentioned with corn. Long-term exposure to glyphosate has been flagged in research for its potential link to liver damage, hormonal disruption, and gut inflammation. So, if you're eating processed foods, chances are you're getting soy in forms your body never signed up for. Soy protein isolate, soy lecithin, hydrogenated soy oil, you name it. Safe intake. If you're going for whole soy foods like organic edamame or tofu, keep it to no more than 2 to 3 servings per week. And yes, fermented soy, like tempeh or miso, is a better choice. Fermentation helps break down the phytic acid and improves nutrient absorption. Plus, it's just more gut-friendly overall. Here's a fun way to remember it. Soybeans are like that overly helpful coworker, great in small doses, but if they start showing up in every meeting, every memo, and every snack in your desk drawer, it's time to draw the line. 3. Potatoes, the sugar bomb in disguise. Let's face it, potatoes are comfort food royalty. Mashed, fried, baked, or roasted, they've found their way onto just about every dinner plate in the world. But behind their cozy, down-to-earth image lies a sneaky little secret. Potatoes are one of the most blood sugar-spiking veggies on the planet. Yep, the humble spud is more mischievous than it looks. First things first, potatoes are starch powerhouses. And starch, in its simplest form, is just a bunch of glucose molecules holding hands. When you eat a potato, especially white potatoes, your body breaks it down very quickly into sugar. In fact, the glycemic index, GI, of a baked white potato is around 85 to 111, which is higher than table sugar. That's right. Eating a plain baked potato can spike your blood sugar faster than a candy bar. Why is that bad? Well, repeated blood sugar spikes lead to insulin resistance, weight gain, and eventually increase your risk of developing type 2 diabetes, according to research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Potatoes are also low in fiber, which means they don't do much to slow that sugar rush unless you're eating the skin, and even then, it's a small buffer. But wait, there's more. Potatoes are naturally high in glycoalkaloids, especially solanine, a chemical defense compound that helps protect the plant from pests. While small amounts are generally safe, high concentrations, like in green or sprouted potatoes, can cause digestive upset, headaches, and even neurological symptoms in some people, as noted in food and chemical toxicology. Now, I'm not saying you need to ghost potatoes forever, but maybe think of them like that charming friend who talks too much at dinner parties. Great in moderation, a disaster in excess. If you're watching your blood sugar, try swapping them out for sweet potatoes in controlled portions, or better yet, fiber-rich alternatives like cauliflower mash. Recommended intake: limit white potatoes to 1 small serving, half a cup or 100 grams, a couple of times per week, preferably boiled or steamed with the skin on to reduce the glycemic impact. And please, skip the fries, or at least save them for special occasions. Your pancreas will thank you, because when it comes to your blood sugar, potatoes might just be the wolf in grandma's cooking pot. 4. Eggplant, the bitter beauty with a toxic twist. Let's talk about eggplant, aka the shiny purple diva of the produce aisle. It looks exotic, has a velvety texture when cooked, and even made its way into emoji fame, though for reasons far beyond nutrition. But while eggplant might be a Mediterranean favorite, especially in dishes like baba ganoush or eggplant parmesan, it comes with a few health warnings you definitely shouldn't ignore. First, eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, alongside tomatoes, peppers, and potatoes. Nightshades contain alkaloids, specifically solanine and nazeanin, which can be problematic for sensitive individuals. Solanine, for starters, is a natural pesticide produced by the plant itself, and in large amounts, it can be inflammatory, neurotoxic, and aggravating to the gut, particularly for people with autoimmune diseases or joint pain. In fact, a study published in Arthritis Today noted that some individuals with rheumatoid arthritis or chronic joint issues experience flare-ups when consuming nightshades like eggplant, potentially due to solanine's ability to increase intestinal permeability, aka leaky gut. If you've ever felt bloated, achy, or foggy after your beloved eggplant lasagna, it might not be your imagination. But wait, there's more. Eggplant also contains oxalates, which can contribute to kidney stone formation, particularly in people who are already prone to stones. According to the National Kidney Foundation, individuals with a history of calcium oxalate stones should limit high oxalate foods, and unfortunately, eggplant is on that list. Then there's nazeanin, a phytonutrient found in eggplant skin. Sounds healthy, right? It is, kind of. While nazeanin is an antioxidant that can help reduce free radical damage, it also binds to iron and may inhibit iron absorption. So if you're low in iron or anemic, eating eggplant regularly might actually make it harder for your body to rebuild its iron stores. So how much is too much? For the average person, 1 to 2 servings per week, half a cup cooked, is generally safe. But if you have arthritis, IBS, kidney issues, or iron deficiency, you may want to approach eggplant with a bit of caution or swap it for anti-inflammatory alternatives like zucchini or carrots. And don't worry, you won't lose your Mediterranean cooking license for skipping it once in a while. Because at the end of the day, eggplant might wear a royal purple robe, but it's hiding a few thorns under that skin. 5. Peas, the green goblins of gut trouble. Ah, peas. Those little green pearls your mom insisted you eat as a kid, and that still sneak into every healthy, frozen vegetable medley. They look harmless, right? Cute, round, and full of childhood nostalgia. But don't let their size fool you. Peas pack a surprising punch when it comes to digestive distress and blood sugar chaos. First off, peas fall under the legume family, cousins to beans, lentils, and chickpeas. While legumes can be a good source of plant protein and fiber, peas also contain anti-nutrients, such as lectins and phytic acid. These compounds act as the plant's natural defense system, but when consumed in excess, they can interfere with nutrient absorption and irritate the gut lining. That's right, those cute little green balls might be stealing your zinc, iron, calcium, and magnesium before your body even gets the chance to use them. According to a review in Nutrients Journal, lectins found in legumes can bind to the intestinal lining, contributing to inflammation and permeability, especially in people who already suffer from digestive issues like IBS, leaky gut, or Crohn's disease. So if peas make you feel bloated, gassy, or crampy, it's not just in your head. Your gut might be sending out a green-coded distress signal. And then there's the starch content. 1 cup of peas contains about 21 grams of carbs, with around 9 grams of sugar, giving it a fairly high glycemic load for a vegetable. Translation: it can spike your blood sugar more than you'd expect from something so healthy. If you're insulin-resistant, diabetic, or just trying to keep your energy levels stable, peas might not be your best friend. Let's also not forget that many frozen or canned peas come with added sodium or preservatives, which can add even more burden to your system. And don't even get me started on pea protein isolates, often used in plant-based snacks and protein bars. These ultra-processed versions remove the fiber and concentrate the proteins, which can make them even harder to digest and more likely to cause inflammation. So how much is okay? Stick to half a cup cooked peas, about 80 grams, no more than 2 to 3 times per week if your digestion can handle them. And opt for soaked, sprouted, or steamed versions to reduce the anti-nutrient load. Because while peas may look like green gems on your plate, too many of them can turn your gut into a war zone. And trust me, nobody wants a bloated belly full of betrayal. Last but not least, let's tackle a veggie that's been unfairly crowned as the king of clean eating, yet hides a dark, leafy secret. Yep, raw kale is up next, and you're going to want to hear this one. 6. Raw kale, the overhyped green with a gut-punching agenda. Kale. Just saying the word makes you feel like a yoga-loving, smoothie-sipping health guru. It's been glorified in cookbooks, worshipped on Instagram, and even turned into chips, which, let's be honest, still taste like lawn clippings. But here's the twist. Raw kale may not be doing your health any favors, and in some cases, it might be quietly messing with your thyroid, your gut, and your ability to absorb nutrients. Let's start with what makes kale so super. It's rich in vitamin K, vitamin C, antioxidants, and has more fiber than your average salad leaf. But just like that friend who's a little too intense about CrossFit, raw kale can be overwhelming, especially when you're eating it every day. Here's why. Kale is loaded with goitrogens, particularly glucosinolates. These compounds interfere with your thyroid's ability to absorb iodine, a critical mineral needed to produce thyroid hormones. According to a study published in the journal Nutrition Reviews, high intake of raw cruciferous vegetables, like kale, has been linked to thyroid dysfunction, especially in people with already low iodine levels or borderline thyroid issues. So, if you've been feeling tired, gaining weight without explanation, or constantly cold, your raw kale habit might be throwing off your hormonal balance. But that's not all. Raw kale also contains oxalates, which can bind to calcium and contribute to kidney stone formation. If you're prone to stones or have a family history, gulping down raw kale smoothies every morning might not be the genius move it sounds like. And let's not forget the digestive drama. Kale is fibrous and tough, great for cows, not so easy on human intestines. Many people report bloating, gas, or stomach cramps after eating it raw. Think of it like giving your gut a workout it didn't sign up for. So, what's the safe way to enjoy kale without turning it into a digestive disaster? Cook it. Lightly steaming or sautéing kale reduces goitrogens and makes it easier to digest. Limit raw kale to no more than 1 cup, about 20 to 25 grams, a few times a week, especially if you're blending it into juices or smoothies. And balance it with iodine-rich foods like seaweed, fish, or eggs to keep your thyroid happy. Because while kale might be trendy, eating it raw every day is like wearing a tuxedo to the gym. Impressive, but wildly impractical for the setting. So, what's the takeaway from all this veggie drama? It's not that corn, soybeans, potatoes, eggplant, peas, or even kale are pure evil. They're not villains in a Marvel movie. But they're definitely not the innocent health heroes they've been marketed to be, especially when eaten in the wrong form, in the wrong quantity, or by the wrong body. Health isn't just about what you eat. It's about what your body can handle, absorb, and thrive on. And sometimes, the foods we've labeled as healthy turn out to be the very ones slowing us down, inflaming our gut, fogging our mind, and disrupting our hormones. Now, I get it. This video might have rattled your grocery list a bit. Maybe you're side-eyeing your kale salad or wondering if you should ghost your beloved mashed potatoes. But knowledge is power, and the goal here isn't to scare you away from vegetables. It's to help you eat smarter, not just cleaner. Because food is medicine, but only when it's the right prescription for you. So here's your next step. Start paying attention. Tune in to how your body reacts to these foods. Try cutting some of them out for a week or 2. Swap them for gentler, nutrient-dense alternatives. Then reintroduce, slowly, and see what changes. You might be surprised at how much better you feel. Clearer skin, better energy, no more post-meal bloat. Your body will speak, if you're willing to listen. If this video opened your eyes, or your gut, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who lives on soy lattes and kale chips, and don't forget to subscribe for more science-backed, myth-busting, real talk on your favorite foods.